Breath of the Wild 2 was the highlight of Nintendo's E3 Direct. But is it even called Breath of the Wild 2? Nintendo refused to name the game, just like they refused to give it a specific date, quarter, month window. It's just 2022 and it's just the sequel to Breath of the Wild. But tonight we have the reveal of why they have done that. Nintendo went on record revealing why they're being so secretive, and it's very interesting, so we've got to talk all about it. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. E3 Bonanza, it's good. Make sure to smash that like button if you're excited for this game, and let me know in the comments down below what your theory is. Aonuma didn't say much, and so we are going to put our analysis hat on and dig deep into what is transpiring. But let's get to the details first. Nintendo went on record and said, as for why we're holding back on the name, you'll just have to stay tuned. Because obviously, Zelda names are kind of important, and this comes from Bill Trinen, Miyamoto's right-hand man and a reliable and very, I guess, well-known presence within Nintendo's PR team. Those subtitles, they start to give little bits of hints about maybe what's going to happen, and he went on to describe to IGN that they don't want to say the name because it will give away too much about the game, which is super interesting because what the heck could this name be? Now, Trinen continued and said, Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be shorthand, and it's natural for people to want to find a shorthand way to frame it. We're still calling it the sequel to Breath of the Wild for now. Because Zelda names do have a lot of weight. When you think about the names, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, right, Minish Cap, they usually highlight the critical central item or idea. In the case of Breath of the Wild, it was the expansive wild that you're exploring. It was the theme of the game that was housed within the title. So what could the title be that spoils so much of Breath of the Wild that they refuse to say it? Because from a marketing standpoint, you want people to know the name of your game. I mean, we all know it's the next Zelda. We're going to buy it no matter what. But it must be very important if they won't give it to us. They didn't give it to us back in 2019. They're not ready to give it to us in 2021. So, thematics, items, massive change. Let's talk about some theories. One could be that it's the sky. That seems to be a central concept here. The game takes place on the ground in the sky, but they showed us the sky, so that's not it. Where it seems to center, though, is around this pivotal arm. And I think this arm is going to be a massive turning point in the game. Now, back in Breath of the Wild 1, there was a concept, there was an idea that was scrapped about giving him this special Sheikah arm, and it seems like that idea could be back because you'll notice that Nintendo made a very conscious choice to be very, very careful to never show Link's face when his hair is down and when his right arm is more exposed. It could be when he's just not wearing his traditional garb, but at the very least, when his hair is down, you do not see his face, and it feels like this is because there is going to be some sort of flip in the game. And if we look at the distinction between when the arm is infected or maybe faces a blight, and then at some level it is going to be healed, right? We see the contradiction of the red colors here, right, with the green colors here, and it feels like some alteration, some sort of metamorphosis, some sort of process goes down to maybe potentially take the arm from a blight state or a infected state to a healed or useful state. And I wonder if there's something in the title like Blight of the Wild or something that implies that, hey, Link has been infected, Link has been affected, and maybe there's something even going on with his face, because why do we get to see his face here looking like good old BOTW Link, and then any other time we don't get to see his face? It feels strange, like something's amiss. And it's almost as if Link becomes more free, more liberated, maybe even more rogue. It's like he's embodying the wild himself, going from more traditional and reserved garb, more covered warrior type attire, to something just completely wild. That's the best way I can think of to describe it. This guy, he's gone wild. He let his hair down, he's got half of a shirt on, and his arm is doing dangerous things. Now, another thought is that perhaps the title has to do with time, because obviously time is an incredibly important part of the Zelda lore in general, and it might play a role here. Perhaps that is one of the reasons Link has such distinct looks and they don't want to show his face. Is there something telling about his face that would reveal a big plot point? And maybe it's part of the title as well. breath of time? Time something? Is there time travel in this game? It's curious, you know, how he sends that spike ball back up the hill in reverse. And again, it could tie into the arm. It could even tie into all of this castle madness. I mean, I guess there could be something about the castle that is part of the title, why it's rising above, what has happened and occurred in the land to cause this new calamity. Maybe it's about Zelda. We see her in one scene falling down into a big pit. Probably not gone for good, but definitely in a troubled state. Those of us who hope for playable Zelda or co-op Zelda, it doesn't seem very likely. She seems to definitely be in absolute distress. Maybe even lost in time, or lost in some sort of other state of strange Zelda purgatory. But based on the first trailer, and based on this trailer, based on the emphasis of this dark power, and the way that it seems to be impacting Link and his arm, and the fact that this was something that was discussed and prototyped and concept out for Breath of the Wild 1 and then scrapped based on the shots and the way his arm is clearly distinguished and clearly houses new powers, abilities, and ways to interact with the world, I bet you that title has a lot to do with whatever forces or requires Link to undergo that change. That seems to be the most likely theory at this point, but I'd love to hear from you. So what could the name be? Give me your best guess in the comments down below. Blight of the Wild? Heck, Boy of the Wild? Is it wild at all anymore? Why do you think Nintendo is not giving us the title? What could be so secretive? What could be so important? And what will it mean for this game and how it plays out? Now, I hope we get to play it soon. 2022 is still 6 months away. And they're saying they're aiming for that year. Yeah, there's a chance that Breath of the Wild 2 doesn't come out for 18 months or maybe longer. 2023 is a possibility, but I freaking pray it comes out soon so we can know what's happening. I think the title will come out far ahead of release, though. I bet Nintendo does have a full-blown trailer, maybe even a story trailer, to reveal at a later date. Whether that's a Direct or a Keighley Game Awards Spectacular, I'm not sure. But we should know the title at some point. They just don't want us to know yet. And as they weave this hype cycle, as they weave the what and why of the sequel to Breath of the Wild, we should learn more about the most tantalizing game on Nintendo's docket. And if you guys agree, definitely smash that like button. This one, oh, I feel like it's going to be incredible. I love the trailer so much. I thought this was a brilliant 98 seconds. It wasn't a lot, but at the same time, maybe it truly was, especially since they're being so tight-lipped about things. Like, this was telling, this was revealing, and now you know even more. So thanks so much, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Give me your theories in the comments down below, and until next time, I love you a lot. SwitchForce, out.